I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of Esther, chapter 7, and let's focus on verses 3 through 6. Esther the queen answered, "If I have found your favor, king, and if it pleases the king, then what I ask be given to me is my own life and the lives of my people. For we have been sold, men and women, slaves. I would have remained quiet, since then our trouble would not have been worth the damage it would have caused the king to alter the situation." King Ahasuerus asked Esther the queen, "Who is he? Where is the man who dared do such a thing?" And Esther said, "This ruthless enemy, it's this wicked Haman." Years ago, my band, Big Tent Revival, yes, I was in a Christian rock band, we performed at a Christian music day at Universal Studios theme park in Orlando, Florida. The event was called Rock the Universe. Sounds fun to me. After our performance, a park employee confided to my drummer and myself that he could smuggle us in to an as of then unopened section of the park. Right? At first they were just like a theme park, and then they started to have rides, like Six Flags or something. And he was going to bring us into this park, which was not opened yet, where we could preview their new roller coaster. It was called the Hulk. Not much more rock and roll than the Hulk, right? The Hulk is an acceleration coaster, which is different from the traditional roller coasters in that its power is generated magnetically. So it's quite unlike that traditional gravity coaster that has to climb up the hill, tick, 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 before it can gain momentum. And so to put simply, instead of creeping up a hill and then slowly accelerating as the car rolls over the peak, an acceleration coaster literally shoots the cars up the hill. Never seen anything like it until then. Acceleration coasters are very common these days, but back then we had no idea what to expect. So the ride started off like a normal creeping upward, experience for a roller coaster, but halfway up the incline, this noise went off and the coaster just shot up like so many Florida rocket launches. So delving into chapter 7 is Esther. It's kind of like strapping into an acceleration coaster, right? There's this sense of anticipation at first, followed by this explosive acceleration of Esther's accusation. And this leads to a momentary pause as the king leaves the room and then immediately comes back, and the terror returns, acceleration coaster speed, as Haman then attacks the queen. And then the king catches Haman in the act. Once more, a few short sentences, and there's a lull in the action during which the king's servant mentions, "Oh, by the way, Haman has built these gallows to hang all the Jews on." And then here comes the acceleration coaster. The action quickly accelerates, and the king commands that Haman be hanged. And then Haman and all of his people are executed. The chapter then comes to an abrupt halt, as every roller coaster ride must. Everyone except for Haman seemingly breathes a sigh of relief. The ride is over. Please exit through the gift shop to your right. And we're reminded again in today's chapter that there are two things that confound a fool: how slowly God is to act, and how quickly God shows up to act. So Haman was the fool. It made him the perfect pawn for Satan's plan to annihilate God's people. And Haman was convinced that he would succeed, as was Pharaoh during the Exodus, and Balaam and Balak and Nebuchadnezzar and Hitler and Stalin, Hamas and a host of others. And then God shows up to deliver his people. I would rather be on God's side than the fool's side, but the choice is up to you. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. If you have been faithfully giving to Groundworks Ministries, thank you, because your support has brought this message to the world. Would you consider making a donation to Groundworks Ministries today? Because we need monthly support now more than ever. I'm not speaking to those who are already supporting us. I say to them, thank you. But what about yourself? Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. Another way to help is to tell people that Groundworks Ministries exists. Share these podcasts and friends with family, on your social media even. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.